A lot of people think Koh Samui is strictly for people with deep pockets. You see those infinity pools and high-end beach clubs on Instagram, and it's easy to assume it's totally out of reach if you aren't on a massive budget. But is that actually true in 2026? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what it costs to live here right now as a digital nomad or an expat. We're talking the real numbers for rent, food, transport, and all those hidden costs that usually catch people off guard. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how much cash you need to live that island dream without any surprises. Let's start with your biggest monthly expense, which is obviously housing. If you're looking for a really high-quality setup, like a great villa or an apartment with an ocean view in the best possible location, you're going to want to be in Chaweng. It's considered the prime area of the island. You've got some of the most beautiful beaches, the main mall, and the nightlife all right there. That's where you'll find the highest concentration of those top-tier properties. For a place in that category during the mid-season, around March or April, you're looking at spending between $1,000 and $1,200 a month. But if you want to keep your costs down, you can check out areas like Lamai or Boput, which are actually still pretty close to Chaweng. You can find high-end spots there too, but you also will see way more affordable studios starting around $450. Sure, they might be a bit older and simpler without all the luxury amenities you get in the top-tier villas, but it saves you a lot of cash. And since you are not that far away, you can just hop on a scooter and reach the busy parts of the island in no time. I'll break down those scooter costs in just a second. Just keep in mind that these prices I am giving you are for that mid-season window. If you try to come during the low season to save money, you might deal with heavy rain and actual flooding, which basically ruins the experience. And of course, if you come during peak high season, expect these prices to jump up quite a bit. When it comes to food, you really have two different worlds on the island. If you stick to local restaurants, you can grab a typical dish like pad thai for around $2. These spots aren't fancy, but they're clean, and the food is totally decent, which is a great way to keep your daily spending low. But the second you start craving international food, or you want to sit at a nice restaurant with an ocean view, the price is going to jump way up. In those places, you should expect to spend at least $10 for an international meal, and that's just for a basic dish. If you're looking for high-end dining, the bill can easily go much higher. There is also the option to cook at home since the island has some great markets. If your place has a kitchen, you can save a ton of money and you get the added bonus of knowing exactly where your ingredients came from. It is definitely a solid choice if you are picky about the quality or the origin of your food. For your monthly budget, if you strictly eat Thai food in local spots, you will spend between $250 and $300 a month, which is a really good deal. Cooking at home will bring that number down even more. But if you like to mix things up and head to those international restaurants frequently throughout the week, your bill will easily pass $500. Even if you're still eating local food part of the time, those nicer meals add up fast, so you should definitely keep that in mind when planning your month. Talking about getting around the island, Samui isn't exactly giant, but it is definitely way too big to walk everywhere. If you're comparing it to a city like Bangkok, the public transport here basically doesn't exist. Instead of a metro or regular buses, you have these red pickup trucks. They act as a sort of shared shuttle where the driver picks up people along the road, but the price is usually much higher than you'd expect. Actually, relying on those or regular taxis is just not viable for a long stay because a simple trip between areas like Lamai and Chaweng is easily going to cost you $3. When you're doing that multiple times a day, those small rides add up incredibly fast and just drain your budget. The real solution to keep your costs down is renting a scooter. It's hands down the best way to move around. You can get a decent bike for about $100 a month, and you'll probably spend another $30 on gas to ride for the entire month. It gives you all the freedom to explore every corner of the island and hit those hidden beaches without stressing about the bill. Just be aware that traffic accidents happen all the time in Thailand, and Samui is no exception. You definitely want to have an international driver's license, stay very alert, and always wear a helmet. But even more importantly, you need to have a solid insurance just in case something goes wrong on the road. I always use and recommend Safety Wing Nomad insurance. I'll leave the link in the description below. Talking about things to do, you're probably going to spend most of your time at the beach, and the great thing is that they are totally free. None of the beaches here charge an entrance fee, and places like Minam Beach have plenty of trees that give you natural shade, so you don't even have to worry about spending money on an umbrella. But beaches aren't the only free activity here. Most of the temples on the island don't cost anything to enter. Just make sure to cover your shoulders and knees if you decide to visit. You can also head inland to check out the waterfalls. They are usually free, or they might charge a tiny fee of about $1 or $2, and you'll usually just pay a little bit for parking. If you want to switch things up, a relaxing massage is going to cost you around $10. And if you're feeling adventurous, a jet ski ride starts at $30 for 15 minutes. There are some other paid spots like the Tarnum Magic Garden where the entry is just a few dollars, but generally, you won't spend much on leisure if you just want to enjoy the nature on the island. For internet, most hotels and villas on the island already offer free Wi-Fi, which is great for when you're at home. But for your phone, an unlimited data plan is going to cost you around $35. You basically have two options to get that. You can either wait in line at the airport to buy a physical chip, or you can just use an eSIM. Since the price is pretty much the same, it doesn't make any sense to waste your time at a counter when you could be starting your trip. I personally use Airalo to buy my eSIMs. It makes the whole process so much faster. You don't have to deal with local vendors or hand over your passport to a stranger, which is a huge plus for privacy. You just pick your plan, install it in a few clicks, and you have a working connection the second the plane touches the ground. You can scan the QR code on the screen right now, or click the link in the description to check out the plans, and make sure to use the code TheNomadicJourney to get 10% off your first eSIM. If you are someone who has to train, a simple gym here is going to cost you between $45 and $55 a month. For that price, you aren't going to find luxuries like a pool or swimming classes, but you will have all the equipment you need for a quality workout. The visa situation for tourism in Thailand is actually pretty chill. Most nationalities can stay for 60 days without needing a pre-arranged visa or paying any fees. Once that period is over, if you want to stay longer, you just need to leave the country for a bit and come back to reset your stay. Just make sure to check the specific rules and return conditions for your nationality, since the time frame and the requirements to re-enter can vary depending on your passport. If you're looking for something more long-term, the best option right now is the DTV, which is the visa specifically for digital nomads. While it's valid for 5 years, it actually operates in 6-month cycles. You simply leave and re-enter Thailand every half year to refresh your stay, which keeps the visa active for the full 5-year duration. To apply, you need to prove a financial reserve of about $14,000 and pay a $300 application fee. I personally haven't used this visa yet since I've been staying as a tourist, so if you want more details or help with the paperwork, I definitely recommend reaching out to an agency to handle the whole process. So how much does it actually cost to live in Koh Samui in 2026? If you're going for the more affordable nomad lifestyle, staying in a simple studio, eating mostly at local Thai spots, and getting around on a scooter, you can pull this off for around $900 to $1,000 a month. It is honestly a steal for being able to live in a place this beautiful. But if you want a more comfortable lifestyle with a modern apartment or villa in a prime area, a gym membership, and a good mix of Western and local food, you should budget around $2,000 a month. Keep in mind that these are individual expenses. However, if you're traveling as a couple, your total budget isn't necessarily going to double. Since the rent for the house and the scooter rental stay exactly the same whether there's 1 or 2 people, traveling as a couple is actually way more economical per person than living here on your own. If this breakdown helped you figure out your budget, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep making these guides for you. And remember, all the links for the insurance and internet are right in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.